And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Of course, a brand new week of shows. Hope everybody had a terrific Thanksgiving out there, too, for all the holidays, a little bit of time off, time to spend with the family. Now we're back at it, too, as the first show here. Back at us, too, as we'll continue all the way up until Christmas and then take another little break there, too, for some vacation time. As we're presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out, the official whiskey of the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. And, of course, out there presented by our friends over at Honky Tonk, Texas, and out there now is we're excited to partner with our friends over at KKTC True Country 99.9 in Taos, New Mexico, and Pueblo, Colorado. Appreciate you guys listening there at 10 Mountain Time out there on the LMNOC streaming app. Pleased to welcome in guys that have been fans of the show for a long time, and they've got a new single out there too. I got to work with a tremendous team on this called God Bless the Radio, as the guys from Flat River Band join us here on the show. Guys, what's going on?
Hey, buddy. Thank you for having us. We're excited about being here with you today.
Always good to have you guys back, man. Show favorites always come around. We've met in person there at CRS in Nashville, Tennessee a few times there with Country Radio Seminar over the past couple of years. I've been fortunate enough to participate in that great event too. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to dive right into the deep end of the pool, as I always do here on the show, which is good. Tell us about this single. You guys got to work with a fantastic team out there. I know Trey Corley. He was a huge, huge song, Grammy Award winner, which he's done. This is some great memories of, I guess, you guys, the earliest memories of growing up there in Southeast Missouri. Tell us all about it.
Well, the brothers and I, we've always been infatuated with the program directors or the disc jockeys behind the voice of radio or country radio. And just, when we were kids, we used to sneak out of the house and drive to the end of the county road and try to tune in WSM radio out of Nashville. And we've just been infatuated with just the simple fact of listening to Keith Bilbrey bring on our favorite country acts.
Yeah.
And how
listening to the Grand Ole Opry.
Listen to the Grand Ole Opry through the radio. And we just think, listening to radio is kind of what formed Flat River Band in a sense, because we've, just listened to our favorite artist on radio. So
absolutely. We kind of make the kind of running joke that the disc jockey is the curators of our life's playlist almost, So anytime you associate a memory in our life, anyways, we always can revert back to a song.
Yeah.
So
they were able to bring you as if you're right there on the stage. You know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, the brothers and I, we actually had a radio show ourselves early on. And that also stems part of the inspiration for this song. And yeah, absolutely.
Well, I like it too. And always give you a chance to build a team, and a lot of things that maybe folks don't see out there who are casual listeners of just country music is the work that goes on behind the scenes. Walk me through a little bit of this writing for this particular song, and of course, working with a Grammy Award winner like a Trey Corley.
Well, working with Trey was an honor.
Yeah, it was definitely an honor. He's such he's
got a
golden ears.
Yeah, he's got a great ear, and he realizes that our harmonies is kind of key factor with us. Anytime we do a song, we try to build on around our vocals, and being in the studio with him and the studio musicians that help play along with it. It was just.
Great experience.
It was a cool experience.
Pretty magical,
with
really.
Trey. He was able to, Trey, in a sense, he kind of became, of course, we're all three brothers. He kind of became a fourth. He's like a fourth brother now. So, there's some ideas there on this particular song where he brought up to the table that perhaps isn't something we thought of. And it, not only that, but it stretched our vocals in areas that's good. You know what I mean? And it just made the song that much better. So having him a part of it. So
I love what you guys did back in May of this year too, with Wings of a White Dove. And I know that was released for the Mental Health Awareness Month during that month of May. Tell us all about this. And definitely we've all experienced those tragic losses, me recently with, friends or family, things like that go on. And what a tremendous song to put out there to move somebody that may be going through grieving or the kind of the mourning process of something like that. Somebody who's lost someone to mental health awareness, which is very, very tragic out there. Talk about just how the song is done and when you guys, or how the song did and how it's done since the release date, and kind of moving forward is the writing and a little backstory of that one.
That song went to 38 on Billboard for us. That was our first top 40, I believe, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
But we went through a lot. We had never had a manager before up to a couple of years ago, and we brought in a manager to manage us, and he helped us with our radio team. And we lost him to suicide. He committed suicide, and it really opened our eyes. He was really he was in a dark place in life, and he was ready to check out. We got to spend some time with him, and just kind of opened our eyes to the reality of, the world we live in is a pretty dark place. It can be at times, and it's important to just to tell people you love them,
Absolutely.
and to share love and share this life we walk through. It's important that we support each other, and it's okay to say, you're going through a hard time, or having a support system there is really, really important in life. And we were able to witness that firsthand through Doc, our manager. So it was for a great cause, NAMI, that they raise awareness for mental health, and it was something we felt that we were supposed to do, and that's what we did. So song has great need.
Yeah, and you have to, no doubt about it too, because a lot of people do struggle with mental health awareness, and definitely it's something we have to make aware of every day, and have the services out there to help people get through these tough times. Now, when you listen to a song out there, that's what country music to me is all about. It's about storytelling, about moving somebody into a positive direction who may be going through God knows what, and we don't know what people go through on an everyday basis when it comes to the way they think, the way they act, the way they do, and obviously just to get that help that they need for songs like that. I commend you guys for putting out a fantastic piece of work out there too, no doubt. Again, the Flat River Band here on the Backstage Pass are presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and Honky Tonk Texas, and we're out there too at KKTC True Country 99.9 in Taos, New Mexico, and Pueblo, Colorado. Make sure you guys tune in at 10 Mountain Time weeknights out there on the LMNOC broadcast app. And of course, if you're in the area in your car, 99.9 KKTC True Country. You can also catch us at hightidecountry.net and powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. We're going to come back, talk about a lot more songs, including one of my favorite albums out there from the guys, Every Dog Has Its Day. We'll get an update on a couple of songs there and talk about maybe a little backstory there. And of course, rapid fire coming up. We'll take a quick time out, a word from our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. Get the order in now at bangtail.com. It's for the holidays. You like to drink and drink responsibly. Goes well with any cocktail out there. And now it's in the Texas market, and you can shop online, easyliquor.com, bangtail.com, or out there too at your favorite fine liquor stores too. Coming right back, more with the Flat River Band. It is the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest track from that particular record. I loved Beauty Amongst the Trees, and of course the title track itself too. I know it came out there in 2019. First kind of set of work there from a full-length album. Give us kind of an update out there of how some of the songs have done off of that too, and really those two in particular.
Yeah. Actually, those songs, they're really, when we play live, they're
requested.
They're requested,
Yeah.
Hear us do Every Dog Has Its Day live.
Yeah. And that song, it kind of has an Alabama feel to it in a sense.
Yeah.
And we get a great response from that. People, they love that song.
They were a huge inspiration to us too. The guys from Alabama, just growing up listening to those guys.
Yeah. And then Beauty Amongst the Trees, we get a lot of response from that as well, which is just, it's got such an awesome message to it. And I think the world needs a little bit more of Beauty Amongst the Trees,
Yeah.
Everybody's consumed with their phones.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and so the message behind that song is just it's needed today.
Mhm.
So
well, I love it too, and that's what we definitely we get too consumed by electronic devices and things on the internet often, and scrolling out there too, that we forget to look outside and see what the good Lord has made out there with the trees, the sunshine, the sky, and all that beautiful stuff out there too. Let me ask you about. I know you guys have charted those #1 hits in the bluegrass gospel charts, and now the opening for the Chicks and Natalie Maines and Allison Krauss, T.G. Shepherd, one of my show favorites here. Rhonda Vincent, member of the Grand Ole Opry. What's that meant to you guys? I mean, early on in your career to have such great highlights to put amongst, great things you've accomplished.
Oh wow. Go ahead, Daniel.
You know, it's great and it feels good. It feels good. I would say probably one of the biggest things that's kind of happened for us was on our last record, that Sight and Sound record. We were able to kind of mark off something on our, make a check mark on our bucket list, getting to record with the Gatlin brothers.
Yeah.
We learned to sing harmony with those guys. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Mom and dad we'd be traveling. We were just little bitty guys. We'd be in the back seat of the car. Mom and dad would have their cassette in there, and Mom would teach us harmony to one of her favorite groups, Gatlin Brothers, which in return became one of our favorite bands, to sing harmony on. So to sing harmony. And it was definitely a bucket list thing for us to go in the studio with those guys and cut that song. I Just Wish You Were Someone I Loved in the same studio they cut it back in 1976. So it was very cool. Very cool.
I loved going back to that EP for Sights and Sounds. One of my favorite things was that particular song. And then I think we talked about this when you guys came on before, the River song, which I thought had a really cool feel to it at the same time. Love that one. Give me a little kind of a timetable, kind of where that got started out. We probably mentioned this on the show before, but for the first time, listeners out there in radio land, that was a fantastic song.
Oh, thank you. We actually wrote that probably around the same era that we were listening to Alabama on the radio. That song in itself has kind of an Alabama feel to it as well. And we've always done that live, even since we moved to Middle Tennessee. But
the river holds a special place in our hearts, not just because the river is where we were baptized, but skinny dipped, and you name it, fishing, so the river's pretty important place for us.
Yeah,
no doubt. I love that. Hey, you know what? Let it all out, man. Like I said, skinny dip and we're here. Tell those stories. That's what music is all about. Off that too, you talk so much about that particular record with Sights and Sounds, and I love it. You speaking of rivers, you stay with the same theme. But what leads off that record was "Ain't a Woman Like a River" off that particular record too, which is another just a great song title. Is this one that you guys originally wrote? One of you guys?
Yeah, I wrote that with a friend of mine from Odessa, Texas, John Colgan. He's a great songwriter, and co-wrote that with him during that whole COVID thing that happened. So we wrote that then, and it we actually did a video on that song too, and that turned out really great for us, and we get a lot of response when we play it live. We always enjoy doing that, the harmony on that song. So,
yeah, it definitely has a great harmony to it too. It's kind of like this one with "God Bless the Radio," which is the current single out there across all the digital platforms. I want to ask you guys, they always talk about Nashville being a 10-year town, and for some people 12, 15. You look at someone like Lainey Wilson, who's now, paying her dues after being there for a long time too. And she's told me the stories about, living out of the back of her car, to the songwriting, to connecting with people in writers' rounds, and coming up with those songs that you hopefully will turn into #1 hits. I guess kind of a two-parter. How much do you see stories like that? Because you guys do come from that small town background. You are brothers, so you have that cohesiveness as a unit there too. But how important is it to keep that and just follow those dreams, watching other artists kind of do their thing, and then see it after a certain amount of time, see it pay off for them? And how much does that motivate you guys to just want to keep putting out great songs and keep climbing that ladder?
I think music has been an integral. It's been the center of our world ever since. That's really all we know. And I see solo artists out there traveling. I couldn't imagine having to do it as a solo artist and not having the support system of my brothers here to do this. So I know it's something we'll do. We'll
as long as we can, as long as we can do it.
that's something we will always do.
Yeah.
It's a part of us. It's in our blood. It's just so it is neat to see these people break through. It's funny. It's like Lainey. I know she's been doing it for a really long time, similar to us. So it's really cool to see these people have breakthroughs, and it's funny that someone calls they'll get emerging artists, and it's like emerging for 20 years. It's kind of interesting in that
they definitely put their time in. Whether it be Laney or anybody else out there, or even Jelly Roll, they put their time in. You know what I mean? So it's definitely it's a long road.
It's a long, hard road.
Yes,
it's in your blood.
That's right. It is right. It's a long, hard road.
What do you do?
That's true. Well, yeah, and you make me think that song that Cody put out too, and he got to sing on the CMA Awards there just a few weeks ago. "Till You Can't," and that's the song that makes me, motivates me to someone to follow their dreams till you can't. And all the points he makes in the beginning of a song, you guys remind me so much of that. And so many artists out there who've told their story here on my show to just keep climbing that ladder and keep putting it out there, because at some point there is a breakthrough will happen. One of my favorite projects you guys put out too, and I love all the music too. That's why we love having you back here every time, was the record, The Mind of a Traveler. Talk about the making of that one too. And really for me, loved Beautiful Mind, and of course Memories from the Front Porch, things that I just recently put on a playlist a while back and kept them there, and just continue to listen to some great songs on that particular album.
Well, we just went over Beautiful Mind the other night, and we haven't done that song in a while. But I love the guitar break that Denny Joe does on that song.
It's got a great message though too.
And the message behind it says a lot, and which is really true. Really, the messaging and behind it, because that's how we all feel. Whether it just be a song or a chorus or something to encourage people by, that's what we're all about, and that's what the song Beautiful Mind speaks about. I love that album. That's one of my favorite albums as well. I love Beautiful Mind. It's
there's a lot that goes on in the mind. You know what I mean? There's a lot that goes on in the mind. I mean, it's like Denny just said not too long ago to me. It's like a second by second. Usually they say, it's day by day. With this social media, you got all this stuff that's happening on social media. Just with technology, it's a second by second thing. Now I know it is for me. So there's definitely that lots happens in
Squirrel. What?
So just a lot going on.
No doubt, too. It plays tricks on us sometimes. And like I said, it's a very powerful tool we have to use every day. Off there, too, was Memories from the Front Porch and Pictures on My Wall, which, for me, has a different meaning for it now, too, no doubt. But looking back on something like that, right now, moving someone to look at stuff like that, how important photographs are in capturing those memories in life with a family member or someone like that, or a loved one, which I'm glad I did, too. But at the same time, you guys put out a fantastic song with Pictures on My Wall.
It is a great song.
I love that. I love that
song,
too.
Isn't it?
I've been trying to get them guys to re-record that thing. I love that song. That's straight down the road, traditional country, but the harmonies on that song are just man, I love it.
That's a tearjerker, man.
It's
a tearjerker,
Yep.
and it's just one of those things that is like we said, back to the mind, and taking advantage of those times that we have with each other and just in life in general, and taking all those times in. You know what I mean? Because we're definitely not promised tomorrow, and just enjoying every moment that we have on this. The good Lord has given us on this earth. So, and with each other, but.
Yeah, and like I said, a different meaning for me now, and definitely for a lot of people out there too. At the same time, I'm sure they can go through something like that too, and really kind of resonate with a song like that too. Again, the single from the Flat River Band, "God Bless the Radio," across all the digital platforms. You can check them out at flatriverband.com for the upcoming tour dates. What's left of 23 and moving into 2024. We're back here after a timeout, and we're our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. Check them out. the official whiskey sponsor of the Backstage Pass, bangtail.com, easyliquor.com. And, of course, you can get the order in at Total Wine and Specs out there, too. And, of course, our friends at Honky Tonk Texas. Appreciate all the work that our sponsors do. You can hear us Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Mountain Time on KKTC, True Country 99.9, and soon to be KXXY out there in Taos, New Mexico, and, of course, out there in Pueblo, Colorado. Back here, more with the guys of the Flat River Band. Quick timeout coming right back here. It is the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. where all the shows live every day out there for your listening pleasure. Back for more here, and the final segment with the guys. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Murill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, out there, 10 Mountain Time, KKTC True Country 99.9 in Taos, New Mexico, part of the LMNOC broadcast app. You can stream the show out there, too, at 10 Mountain Time, 11 Central out there, too, every night of the week. Check it out Monday through Friday for all the new guests that come on the show, including Flat River Band out there coming up this week on True Country KKTC 99.9 in Taos, New Mexico, and Pueblo, Colorado. Out there also at HighTideCountry.net in Oklahoma, stream there, too, and syndicated there. And always the Sports Guys Podcast.com, the current single, God Bless the Radio. As soon as you hear that one, too, if you have not already, look for some traditional country to come back and take you back to a little bit of that 90s feel out there. Again, the brothers joining us here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com, and, of course, presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends over at Honky Tonk Texas out there, too. So let me ask you this. You know, the holidays are coming up. We just had Thanksgiving. And now shifting into ready for Christmas. What are the plans? So going back home, time with family, and give me the outlook for 2024.
Yeah. Well, for Christmas this year, my daughters will be coming into town, so I'm really excited about spending some time with them. And we'll get together usually the second week of Christmas, 2 weeks into December. We usually have Christmas before it gets real crazy. We have Christmas together as the Sykes family, and so that's always an exciting adventure, us all getting together with bringing all of our kids together. And so it's a house full, to say the least, because Chad's got 4 boys, so
Yeah.
2 daughters. Andy's got 2 daughters.
Two
so
daughters. Yeah.
it's usually a big event.
It is a big event, and we spend so much time together already, right? So usually, like for the Thanksgiving, we did it. Everybody kind of does their own thing with their in-laws, and then come Christmas time, everybody gets together. So it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, pretty magical.
It always is, no doubt, for Christmas time too, and no matter whose family you're around too, it's always unexpected moments and things. Hopefully they're happy moments, no doubt. As far as the outlook for next year, 2024, a lot of people always say, if I've learned one thing in doing this show in the last 4 years, musicians never rest on their laurels. There's always something new coming out. Of course, we got the single we talked about today, which is God Bless the Radio. But kind of what's next? We're looking at more single releases, EPs, full-length albums. Take us there.
I'm certain we're hoping and praying that in January we go back in the studio again. Matter of fact, we go back in the studio on the 29th with Trey to work on some holiday stuff, and we're actually, I think it's going to probably be our busiest year out for sure.
Yeah,
we've started putting dates on the calendar for next year, playing some festivals out in Texas, and I think it's going to be a great. A busy year for us next year.
Yeah, we're going to be in Colorado the second week of February.
Grand Junction, Colorado.
Yeah,
up
we'll
there.
be in
Okay. I know where that
Colorado.
is. Yeah.
We're going to be in, like I said, Daniel said, we're going to be in Austin. We're going to be in Houston. We're going to be, that's just the first quarter. We're going to be in Southeast Missouri, I believe. We're going to be in North Georgia, I think, in the first quarter of 2024. So
It's dates are being put on a calendar pretty fast. So we're pretty stoked.
We're burning up the highway first quarter.
Yeah, hey, you got to do it, no doubt, out there too, man, to get on stage and put on a fantastic show. Let me know about the Houston thing. I'll try to get out there and catch you
Be
guys
great.
live. That's just right down the road from me too, here in Texas. So definitely,
Cool.
would love to get out there, catch a show, do some footage, and of course, just hang out with you guys, chat a little bit. Hey, take me back a little bit too, before I get into the rapid fire segment, to another album I got to listen to a few songs off of it with High Roller, and one of my favorite ones was the lead off one, I'm All Right, I'm Okay, which is the lead song off there. Sets the tone for that record too. And I believe also was Shine Down Upon Me, which is another one that we all can look at and say, man, we need some of that every single day of our life, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. That particular song was written, golly, well, it was written, let's see, my oldest son is 16.
Mhm.
So it was written probably 15 years ago. I'm all right, I'm okay.
Mhm.
I remember we were actually, I don't know if you how many kids you had, but when a parent has their first kid, they're always like super, they're all kind of worried about, every little thing. He pricks his finger. Oh, we got to take him to the ER.
You learn, you learn as you go.
You learn as you go.
He got 4. He should be a pro now. But
So our first son, I remember one of the many times we took him to the ER, I was just like, oh my gosh. I was just like all paranoid about him. And I just felt a peace come upon me, as you say. And I wrote the lyrics to this very song on my, I remember I got let go of this job that I had in Middle Tennessee. And I wrote the lyrics down to that song on the back of my unemployment check. And while my wife had our son in the ER, and that song just kind of fell from the sky. And, it's just one of those things. You just, it was just basically just thrown at me. I'm all right, I'm okay.
it gets real dark before it gets better, don't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
Yeah, that's I love that one too. And definitely all these songs available for streaming. You guys can check out there. Just put in the Flat River Band, whatever you stream or download these records on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever streaming app you use out there. All right, time for the fun stuff here because I love doing this too at the same time. Rapid fire. So here we go. You guys can take any part of these questions, tear them apart, and fill in the blank, I guess you could say. Favorite tradition for the holiday, I guess, could that include food? Yes, it could. Do you guys cook it, or who provides what when it comes to holidays around the table?
Here lately, my dad, we've been throwing it off on my dad as far as doing smoking.
Yeah.
He smokes
All
a lot
right.
of meat. That's
It's kind of dad's
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
That's hey, you know what? You know what we always say. I actually had fried turkey for the first
Yeah,
time
you- that too.
post Thanksgiving, which was phenomenal. My brother-in-law had got that done, which is pretty good. I'd never had it fried, which is really, really good. And then of course the
Oh,
roast.
we love it.
Yeah, we
did
love
that
fried
for a
turkey.
few
We
years,
did that
too.
for a few years. That's just craziness is this year I didn't do turkey at all. We did a fish fry. How crazy is that? You can't get more hillbilly
No,
than
you-
that. Having a fish fry on Thanksgiving. Yeah, that was my Thanksgiving, which was
I
great.
like that. That's a great
That's
idea.
baby.
I actually had some fresh caught snapper last week too, leading up to Thanksgiving. So it doesn't get any better than good old fish fried potatoes and like I said, hush puppies and whatever you want out there too. From as you guys would know, a southern tradition down here too for us is a good old fish fry out there too. All right,
Yep.
favorite decoration. Is there one to put on the Christmas tree for you guys? A favorite ornament?
Well,
I don't think I have one.
I don't think I have one either.
I don't either. I don't
I
think.
kind of dread putting up the tree, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could get by with not doing it, I'd probably not put one up.
There are a couple years, a couple of us had sent out a memo about trying to just call it square for the whole year. But ow, I'm kidding. No, the kids, I think I would say, speak for everybody here, I would say probably our kids like putting up. We let the kids put up the ornaments now,
Mhm.
So, yeah, they
We
put up
took the tree
ornaments.
down one year. Remember?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember the tree falling down? We'd get at mom and dad's, yeah.
What did we get into an argument?
We did. We got into an argument. The tree fell.
Oh, geez Louise.
Like timber.
That's what I got to do tonight. Let the kid decorate it too. And I'm like, you know what, babe, just you put it all up there. My daughter, just go ahead and put all the ornaments up. And definitely there's, I mean, obviously photos that go on it too at the same time, but
Sure.
it's all for her. And I'd tell you this, I'd rather put up a tree than a string of lights on my roof. That's just how I am.
Oh my gosh, yes. For sure.
I see those signs around town. They're on the side of the road. It's like, just forked in. It's the forks. It's like, need help installing Christmas lights, call, whatever. And I'm like, let's see, what do they charge on putting up? But you know what? Hey, I'm not going to be here this year for the Christmas. We're going somewhere else out of town. So just having the tree alone, we'll definitely get it done. Hey, let me ask you this, and we'll finish with this one. What was that first song you guys ever sang live on stage? That first or even original cover? What was the first one y'all sang on stage?
Well, I don't know. The first one we sung on stage, gosh, I don't know. I know we did something about the first song we learned not too long ago, which was "I'll Fly Away." It was probably the first song we sung. But as far as the first one we did on stage, man, do you remember?
No, because we were so small.
Yeah. I'm sure it was a gospel song, though.
Okay.
Smaller than what we are now.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a gospel song for sure.
Well, if it was "I'll Fly Away," that's one of the best, no doubt, too. And definitely, I love the background, you guys' story. I mean, the Missouri story. It was a pleasure to meet you guys there just a couple of years ago when I started all this whole thing, including the Backstage Pass. And definitely always fun to have you guys on, talk about the latest music. And definitely, I got to throw this in. I said that was the last one, but I'll throw this out there, too. Give the audience there listening, growing up in and around sports, whether it be baseball or football, were you guys fan of those Missouri teams out there?
Oh, yes.
All right.
St. Louis Cardinals.
There you go.
Well, Cardinals for sure. But as far as honestly, for me, I just never did follow college much in growing up in Southeast Missouri because we were always playing. We were always playing on the road, but I always followed the Cardinals.
For sure.
But since I moved to Middle Tennessee, I've become a Vols fan. I've been down here in Middle Tennessee 20 years, and I just never did follow Mizzou.
Well, they just smoked us not too long ago. But anyway,
I know. Yeah, daggum they did. But we've always been huge Cardinal fans for sure.
And they're doing something right now, picking up something they didn't have this year, picking up some pitching. There's winter meeting stuff going on too, and I believe they just came to agreement with a 3-year deal with Sonny Gray, who was a 3-time All-Star. So it's going to be interesting to see how he moves forward there too. And of course, the baseball winter meetings coming up there the first part of December, and a whole lot more too. We'll keep you posted on that too. And that's the beauty of bringing music and sports together. Again, the new single is "God Bless the Radio," paying tribute to those old great DJs, the Grand Ole Opry. Make sure you guys stream it across all the digital platforms and check them out at flatriverband.com. Always great to catch up with you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We're going to do this again. I know Always was great out there too. And hey, thanks for being a part of what we got going on here, man. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you, pal.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Got it. One of the best out there, Flat River Band, across all the digital platforms. Of course, we're this week, 10 Mountain Time, KKTC True Country 99.9 in Taos, New Mexico, and Pueblo, Colorado. Check us out as we're syndicated there. Also at hightidecountry.net. Presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and Honky Tonk Texas, and powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. We're back tomorrow for another show. Until then, take care. Good night. Happy holidays. If you're on the break as of right now, leading into Christmas and the New Year. We'll talk to you soon from all of us here at the Backstage Pass at KKTC True Country 99.9 and powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. We'll see you soon.